Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going over 10 tips and tricks to selling on Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji. So, let's get right into it. First off, test what works best in your area. So, you want to try different methods of selling. Start low price but firm, high price but flexible. Though most times I go in the middle price with some flexibility, this should change based on your inventory at the time. The more inventory you have, the lower but the more firm you should be on the price. Possible less profit, but this will help you with cash flow and get those items sold so you can reinvest and buy more items. Some people will happily pay asking price while others will want a deal no matter how good the deal already is. A good negotiation, you both lose a little. I've also noticed that it depends on where you're selling is where you're going to get different types of offers. And Facebook Marketplace, I've noticed people usually want a better deal, they want to negotiate more. Kijiji, people are usually more okay with just paying for what you're asking. Just something I've noticed. Number two, look professional. You want to take good and clean photos, clean background, use a photo station, a light box. You want it to be laid out well. You want to have cables tied with rubber bands, and you want everything to be cleaned. These are very basic, simple things, but they do make a big difference, especially make you stand out from other people on the marketplace because most people, for example, aren't going to have a photo station. Most people aren't going to tie the cables with rubber bands. Most people aren't going to have things cleaned very well. So when you do all those things, it makes your post stand out. It makes people want to pay for your item, and people will be willing to pay a little bit more for your item because of that. Number three, be clear and upsell. So description should be clear about any major issues or defects if you can't already see them in the photos. This is an opportunity for you to upsell them to other items. For example, if you're selling a Nintendo Switch, you want to list out the other games that you have with the prices in the description as well. Lingering listings, number four. Sometimes if you sell an item, you get a lot, leave it up, local only. So if you, for example, I've done this with a PlayStation 4 where I've bought and sold a ton of PlayStation 4s. If I buy one of them, I sell it the next day. I leave listing up sometimes, and I'll continue to search for more PS4s for good deals with bundles and whatnot. Maybe they're a little bit outside my city, whatever it is. And then while that listing's up, I'm looking for more to source it. And what I've had happen a few times is I've had an item listed, I had someone interested in it, and they messaged me. We set up a time, we set up a price. I then went and sourced the same item from somebody else, got it at a cheaper price, brought it back, tested it, cleaned it, got it all ready, and then sold it to the same person. And obviously it wasn't the same item that was in the photo, but everything worked. It looked the exact same and it ended up working out fine. I've also noticed people don't really care so much if it's slightly different. For example, I've sold people PS4 originals instead of Slims. I will let them know. I'll be like, hey, by the way, before they come, or while we're in the negotiation phase, I'll be like, by the way, I sold this one, but I have another one. It's the exact same. Sometimes if it's a better model, I'll be like, I'll give it to you for the same price. I was going to list it for more. And you just kind of work with the people. Number five, outsourcing. So you want to hire someone to work with you. I'd say like almost as soon as you can, as soon as you're making like, if you're making, I don't know, $2,000 a month, you should probably start outsourcing. I don't think you need to be making a lot. Obviously it's up to you too, but for me, like I wanted more free time. I wanted more time to work on finding deals and doing things that are going to make the business real money. I didn't want to spend as much time on doing things like reposting and eBay draft creation. So I hired someone from Outwork, and they've been working with me for the last almost 2 years now. She's been amazing. She works in the Philippines. Charge her $5 or pay her $5 an hour USD, and I just tell her what to do. I basically have just made Loom videos like I'm making right now, but I would do kind of tutorials and everything that I want her to do. And she's been very, very useful, very, very helpful. I've got her to do a whole bunch of things. And I just make I make Loom videos and then show her how to do it. And then she messages me on any questions she has. We figure things out and continue to get things done. So be prepared is number 6. You want to fully test everything before you sell it. This is pretty obvious. You don't want to sell things that are broken to people, but also have it ready to go and show it working to the customer if they ask or if they want to see it in person. So, if you're selling like a phone, a laptop, whatever it is, try and have it charged up so that the person can see that it's working. A good kind of rule for this is anytime you get a new item, just instantly charge it, fully charge it. That way, whenever someone does come by it in the next few days, the next week, whatever it is, it's already charged, it's ready to go. Same with testing. I test everything as soon as I get it and then list it rather than list it and then test it, because then you may be taking listing down or having some issues. Number 7, getting paid. So cash is quick and easy. E-transfer sometimes takes up to an hour. Bigger amount equals more time. E-transfers can be canceled if it is a bigger amount and it is taking more time. There's only one time I had this happen to me. I was at my house. I was running late to go to the gym, and this guy was coming to pick up an item. He was late by like 20-30 minutes. I waited for him, and he got there. He was like, here's the e-transfer. He showed it to me. He sent it to me. Like, he was there typing it in, and then gave him the PS4. And it's funny because I had a feeling right after I was driving, I was like, I wonder if I'm actually going to get the e-transfer. Because I had done this many times where I've had people e-transfer me and I didn't go through right away. They left and it was fine. But in this situation, it's something just kind of, I could tell something was off. And sure enough, I never got the e-transfer. He just canceled it. So do be cautious, but also I've done hundreds of sales with people and I've never had anyone except for this one guy do this to me. So you'll probably be okay. Number 8, don't scam people. I mean, I just basically laid out a scam of what people will do, and you could go out and do that. I would not recommend it. Your business is not going to do very well. You're probably going to not like yourself because I think that's the way our minds work, or maybe it won't for you, who knows. But we see, you will see a lot of opportunities to scam people in this business. Be honest, don't take advantage. On eBay, like, I'm not going to go over all the different ways you can scam people, but you could very easily scam people in this business with all types of different platforms and methods and whatnot. And I think the more you do the business, the more you'll see these opportunities. And I just encourage you to not take advantage, because I don't think it's a good thing to do. And honestly, in the long run, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your business. You're not going to get good reviews. You're going to have issues. You can have issues with your bank account. You can have issues with your emails, all that kind of stuff. Number 9, dealing with complaints. So sometimes you'll think you fully checked over an item, but you've actually missed something. In these situations, you want to offer return or send the money back or exchange it for another item. There is a possibility, this is another example of a scam that people would do, where they have swapped out the item with a broken one to try and scam you. Personally, I haven't had this happen yet. A way that you could prevent this is to check the serial number of the systems or of the items before and after. That way you verify that's the same one. But again, even this could be circumvented by, you buy a PlayStation 4, you give it to somebody, they say the disk drive is broken, you get it back, it's the same serial number, but little do you know that they opened it up, took the disk drive out, put a broken one back in, and gave it back to you. I've heard of people doing this with laptops and whatnot. So you just got to kind of go with the flow and hope that sort of thing doesn't happen if you do find someone who you sold it to. But that's the thing. If you checked everything over and you fully checked it over and 100% that things are fine, then this is not going to happen to you. I tell people in person if they have any issues to let me know and we'll figure it out. I don't say that over text, and I think that prevents scammers. That's a little tip. And number 10, reinvest. There's 11 things here. I forgot that last one there. But number 10, reinvest. Reinvest the money that you make to build your inventory and make more money. Make sure that you're selling as much as you're buying, and always list things ASAP. So I had this problem at one point where I was just so focused on buying, because buying is more fun, it's more engaging, it's more exciting. Selling is not as much fun, at least in my personal opinion. So I was more focused on buying, and I had a ton of inventory and things that were just kind of stacking up, and then I had to start selling. And of course I did sell them, but it would have been better if I would have listed them as soon as possible. And don't be afraid to reinvest your money. Like, this whole business is run off of reinvestment, like you're just buying new inventory to then flip it. So the more you can reinvest, the more you can make. Don't sell everything on eBay. This is the last and final tip, and that is because big items that will sell quickly on local marketplaces almost always just sell them there. This is because of eBay fees and shipping, unless you have big stock of the item. Small, weird, or individual games I always list on eBay. So eBay takes 10 to 15% of your sale price, which is quite a bit. Definitely cuts into the profits. So if you're selling a PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch for a couple $100 or PS5, whatever it is, you are going to lose a lot of money if you're selling on eBay. Whereas local marketplace, you're not going to lose as money. But you need to check, because sometimes too, you'll see an item that will sell more on eBay than it will on a local marketplace. So maybe it's worth it to sell it on eBay, even with the 10 to 15% extra fee. But then you also need to include shipping, and then you need to include or think about, the box, the packing materials, all the different stuff, the time it's going to take to pack it up, to drop it off at the post office. But then again, if you're selling on eBay consistently, you probably have all this stuff. You're buying the items in bulk. You're buying all the shipping supplies in bulk. You have a good shipping supplier, so your shipping times are really cheap. That's something else I'm going to go into in probably one of the next videos, where I'm going to talk about who I use and what companies you can use to get really cheap shipping within Canada and also within the United States. And that is it. That is the 11 steps to selling on eBay. I hope those helped. I'm going to make more videos and kind of go over everything else of the business, but these are pretty big in terms of what I've learned. Some of them are pretty obvious, but honestly, if you start your business and you start using these right away, I think it'll help you out. So I also made the same video for buying. If you haven't seen that one, go check that one out too. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.